Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities. Presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, five-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLC. Tonight, we have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Okoroji. A little bit about her. Okoroji is a Nigerian actress and multiple award-winning media personality who has reinvented herself at every stage of her creative career. As a performing visual and literary artist, she is an actress, TV personality, talk radio host, speaker, author, global influencer, reinvention coach, and creative communication consultant who helps high-performing experts around the world create a bigger impact with their brands, platforms, content, message, products, or services. Nominated for her network 2018 Woman of the Year in Entertainment, she has been featured in over 250 media platforms around the world like Huffington Post, The Guardian, CNN, The Telegraph, Mogul, The Sun, The New York Journal, Fox, ABC, NBC, and many more. Referred to as the queen of expression for using different mediums of the art to empower people with the freedom to express their truth, talent, and personal greatness. She is ranked as one of the top 250 most influential women in the world by Richtopia, showing up in 2017 and 2018 as the fourth and youngest Nigerian on the list. Alongside Nuazi, Obi, Abak, Theresa May, Ellen DeGeneres, J.K. Rowling, Melinda Gates, Ariana Huffington, Winnie Mandela, Brené Brown, Yuko Ono, Sofia Vergara, Madeline Albright, and more powerhouse women impacting millions of people with her work. Alice is the first African woman living in Africa to be featured on the Women Rock Project in the actress category. She is listed as one of the 35 personal brands to watch in 2017, the Global List, and was honored with the 2017 Nigeria Goodwill Ambassador Award for her positive contributions to humanity. A 2017 Peace Achievers Award is Media Personality of the Year, an African Icon Award, 2019 Upward Achievers 2 Awards, and a recipient of the WEF Iconic Woman Creating a Better World at the 2017 Annual Global Women Economic Forum in New Delhi, India, and the 2019 Exceptional Woman of Excellence Award. As an advocate for expression, a reinvention strategist, and a multi-platform ambassador for self-empowerment and transformation, known for her practical wisdom, straight talk, and ability to connect with any audience. She championed the movement for raw and honest expression and has taken the naked philosophy further by using her platform to further promote a presence of mind while giving people a safe space to have a voice and embrace their authentic self. As a speaker, her fusion of real-life stories, humor, and conversational illustration allows her to engage with an audience at an intimate, intense, and individual level. She was spotlighted as a 2015 Global Conscious Raiser, a 2016 Guardian Woman, R&B Magazine Blogger of the Season Spring 2015, and served as international contributor to several publications, including the Huffington Post and Newswire. With over a decade of acting experience, well-versed in most aspects of performing on television, film, theater, and voiceovers, with training which includes 2 years in community theater and over 25 productions to her credit, she has consistently been involved with different television projects, movies, documentaries, and events. She is featured in movies like Freedom Bank, Trinity, Destiny, State of the Heart, Hero's Bride, Waiting Years, The Guide, where she has played both lead and supporting roles. Alex Okoroji has also played some of the best characters in popular television, soap operas, and TV series like Heaven's Gate, U.S., Wives and Concubines, Rush, GRA Women, Tales of Eve, Spider, on terrestrial television stations and popularly remembered as entitled Betty, and the 3 popular TV soap operas Spider. And the feisty Lord is Susan in MNETS Dazzling Production, Tinsel on digital satellite TV across Africa for 3 seasons. Her voice has graced several public service announcements. and jingles for radio and television, and has written several scripts for TV commercials, documentaries, and award-winning screenplays for movies. She is the creator of the Naked Philosophy and creative director and CEO of the Bragg Media Company and brand consultant media content development, publishing, and creative agency offering creative services and digital solutions to clients around the world to create an identity and products worth bragging about. She is also the host of a popular live international talk radio show, The Naked Talk with Alex, syndicated on 13 global networks around the world with over 4.6 million listens and 180 hours plus of powerful conversations with celebrities and influencers from around the world, where she engages in unscripted, unfiltered, and heart-centered conversations with her guests. As a celebrated writer, she has contributed to several international publications and now serves as editor-in-chief of her own global magazine, Bragg. She is also the author of 4 books, The Naked Truth Live Strip, Stripped Down Successful Creatives, I Buried My Chest, a global anthology, and her latest memoir, Uncovered, and her soon-to-be-released 5th book titled The Bragg Factor. Welcome to the table, the amazing Alex Okoroji.
Ashley, thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. I was like, what? Who's she talking about? She's talking about me.
You are amazing.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for inviting me to be on your amazing show, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. And I'm so excited. I'm sorry, Ashley, I know that my voice is terrible because it's cracked, but I'm just really pumped to be here with you, so thank you so much.
And thank you so much. I am so, happy to have you at the table tonight, for taking time out of 2 million of your time. So thank you for doing this and actually coming to the show tonight to share the amazing wisdom and nuggets that I know you're going to share with our guests tonight.
Well, thank you for having me on the table. Yay.
You're welcome. So please tell us more about your amazing entrepreneurial journey, Alex.
Oh my goodness, where do I start? Well, where do I start? Okay, here's the thing, primarily I'm an artist, right? And I know that it's weird because a lot of the times artists don't see themselves as business owners or as business people, but I really do feel like we start first, even as individual artists, right? We are in the business of, we are in show business, if that makes any sense. And we're in the business of art. And of course that sort of expanded from me just being an actress to having spread my wings around the entire entertainment and media industry, from doing television to radio to, speaking and all of that. And then I decided to create my own media company, right? And that's, a few years ago. I think in 2015, I started the Bragg Media Company. And, basically the Bragg Media Company is a creative agency, branding. We're basically into brand consulting, media content developing, publishing, and of course, providing digital services and creative services to clients around the world. So really my foray into entrepreneurship is a bit crazy because I started working for my mom at the age of 11. So I go back into that. My mom used to have a fashion business, right? And so as a little teenager, or preteen, more like a preteen, I was fascinated with fashion. And I was fascinated with the idea of not just fashion as clothes, but how they came together, right? And so she started this fashion accessory store where they had buttons and collars and just all kinds of things. And I was a little girl going to school, but then she kind of decided to give me a holiday job. And so on vacation, I would come work for her at the store and kind of walked up my way through that. Became from just a little assistant to a sales supervisor, and to a sales rep to a sales supervisor, and then became manager. Of course, went to school, but then decided that I wanted to go chase my love for the arts, if that makes any sense. So that's pretty much, I don't know if that gets you because it's a pretty long story, but I guess the journey really into entrepreneurship was realizing that I could really empower people, right, to be the highest expression of themselves. And what better way than to sort of be that medium, right? I'd love to call myself, for lack of a better word, kind of like a creative midwife, if that makes any sense. Helping other people subvert their own creative expressions. So that really is the story.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So you're passionate about helping high-performing experts around the world create a bigger impact with their brand, platforms, content, message, products, and services. So tell us more about your passion.
There's, here's the thing, expression is very broad, right? And of course, there's so many people with messages and gifts and talents and skills, and some people are building platforms. And so we come from, one of the things that I help clients to do is sort of help them to bring in help them to bring a creative aspect, right? And help them to work their communication. And when we talk about communication, really, we're talking about, verbal, nonverbal, and visual communication, because again, that's an aspect that a lot of people don't really think about. And so as an artist, and someone who really does have pretty broad experience, performing, but also visual, because I'm a designer, right? So I'm helping them build platforms, building their websites, their graphics. You're helping them to not just create the platform, but create the essence, the value proposition, and of course their reputation. Because at the end of the day, when we talk about branding, we're really talking about your reputation, right? Is what do people say about you when you're not in the room, right? It's how do people feel about you? And so a lot of times we get confused and they think branding is what you do. But branding is not what you do. Branding is who you are in what you do. It is the reputation that people, is what do people feel about you in what you do. So people just think that it stops at, oh, I'm an author, or I'm a speaker, or I'm a writer, or I'm an actress. No, it's what kind of actress are you, right? Are you the type that is consistent? Are you the type that has integrity? Are you the type that is loyal? Are you the type that's hardworking? You could be a great performer. Let's say you're a singer or something, and you're a great singer, and everyone knows that, but you have a bad work ethic, or you're late to your concert, and you're rude to your backup singers, or you throw tantrums on stage, and you're rude to your audience. That's the reputation that you have. So the idea of branding basically is to sort of create a connection between your verbal communication, your nonverbal communication, and your visual communication to create a reputation about who you are in the marketplace.
I love that. I love that because it's so important, right? Because it all starts with mindset, and it also starts with good relationship, like you said, and it's knowing your audience, knowing your niche, knowing what you're doing, right, and building it from there, right? So I just want to thank you for providing these services to help entrepreneurs and business owners and authors build their platforms.
Amazing. I love to do that. Thank you so much, Ashley.
You are a Nigerian actress and multiple award-winning media personality. Tell us more about that, because you have won numerous awards as an amazing actress.
Well, my acting career started in 2005. It started from television. So I was on a reality television show. So my first foray into television was being on a reality TV show, which was broadcast nationally. And that was funny because I really wasn't supposed to get on that show. Something tragic had happened. I had a fire incident, lost my entire property, lost everything to this fire outbreak. It was a really terrible time, 2005, and I just wanted to do something adventurous, right? And so somebody brought a phone from my younger sister. It was for a reality TV show for actors, right? And I'd never really done any real acting, apart from the fact that, okay, I was born into an artistic family because my dad used to be a musician, but I'd never done any real acting. And so I just filled the forms and just wanted to see where it was going to come out. I never really took it seriously. And then, of course, like 20,000 plus people applied from around the country. And then, of course, they were kind of shortlisted to 10, and I was among the 10 people, and I got on the show. So I was on, I was on a TV show, on a reality TV show for actors, and we went through performances, performance classes, and just a lot of training, other things. And I kind of realized I could actually do it for a living. And so that's how my career started, as an actor. And then, of course, did one, soap opera, and then movies, and that's it. And then I was hosting some daytime TV shows. And pretty much that's been the, my sort of my foray into that. But being that I'm a multi-passionate person, I also wanted to explore other sides of my creative essence, if that makes any sense. So, I wanted to try my hands on writing. Well, not try my hands, because I was actually writing in school. And I wanted to speak, and I wanted to sing, and I wanted to do everything that, I felt like all the talents that God gave me, I wanted to utilize them. I don't want to die empty. So pretty much that's how my career into movies started, and, going from one audition to the other, and getting recommendation, and getting casting calls, and that's pretty much what it was. So, yeah, that's how my career started.
I love that. I love that. Congratulations on that, on your acting career. You've done some amazing things, got some amazing awards. You just done, everything about your platform is just amazing. So I just want to say that I consistently follow you. I've done, been featured in your amazing magazine. So for everybody that's listening, Alice is definitely somebody to connect with and know. So let's talk about acting in the film industry. So what are some strategies you would give to listeners who are looking to get into the acting and film industry?
What would be, well, I mean, what would be the key? There are a couple of things. I guess the first thing would be to connect, network, right? Just because it doesn't even matter what you do, right? You want to network with people, right? You want to meet new people. You want to make sure you meet people in your industry. It doesn't really matter what you do, even if you're an entrepreneur. You want to definitely meet more people in that industry. And I would use, and you want to have as many opportunities to showcase your talent, and not minding how big the roles are. Okay, let me put it this way. I may have done quite more, supporting and lead roles, but a lot of the times I think if people are coming into an industry, they're expecting to get the biggest role, right? But you want to start, it's okay to start small. It's not how many parts you get, especially if you're new, but it's how well. So I'm going to use something that my acting coach said to me 15 years ago. It's 15 years already, but 15 years ago. And he said there's this very popular statement that is that they say no small roles, only small actors, right? And I kind of reinvented that statement over the years and changed it to no small opportunities, only small minds. So in essence, it doesn't matter if you get one part or 10 parts, right? It's how well you carry that role. It's how well you perform or how well you deliver. It's the same thing with business or collaboration or opportunity, whatever it is. It's not how big the opportunity is, right? It's what you do with the opportunity you get. That's what matters. So it's your performance, whatever it is. Again, performance could be, could be with your clients. You could be a business. It could be in the movie industry, whatever it is. It's just how well you play the role that's given to you. So that would be my advice, that, take up as many opportunities as you can, network a lot, and make sure that you deliver every single time. Every single time.
I love that. Love that. And, for our listeners that are listening, please, I hope you're writing these nuggets down. I hope you're writing them down. So what are some of the, pros and cons of the acting and film industry? Because, a lot of people look at actresses and, they think it's, it might be an easy job. So what are some of the pros and cons of being in the acting and film industry?
First of all, acting is not an easy job.
I want the listeners to really know the life of an actress.
No, it's not an easy. Well, so let's first of all, acting is not an easy job. One, because it's not a 9 to 5, right? So I know you can be working around the clock, right? I know there are times when I haven't been home for weeks, a month. There's no 9 to 5. You could be shooting while everyone else is sleeping, right? You're working at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. and, other people are sleeping. So it's not an easy job. It's also not very easy to be able to internalize a character, right, and perform. It's not as easy as cramming words. It really is internalizing somebody else's character. But let's talk about how sometimes that can sort of interrupt who you are because people are used to seeing you play a particular character. They stereotype and they think they have an idea of who you are. And sometimes that could also take away what your original voice is because here you are playing character after character. People have a perception of you because they don't hear your original voice. What they hear or see from you is you role playing, right? So it's very easy to look at an actress and go, hey, that's a bimbo, right? Or that's just a beautiful airhead with no mind of her own or nothing because, one, either they are sensationalizing you, right? Or just buying up what the media has to say about you because you spend so much time in an industry that you're wearing several masks, if that makes any sense. So one of the reasons that I wanted to also try my hands, just explore the other creative side of me was because I wanted people to hear my voice, right? I didn't just want people to see the characters and to see the actor or the actress because again, sometimes you're doing stuff and people are like, oh, maybe she's acting, right? So they doubt you because they're like, oh, maybe she's acting right now. Is she be real, right? Because you're an actor, right? So I wanted people to hear the original voice. I wanted it to be naked. I wanted people to see the real you, just how to understand what I stand for, the role that's what I represent. And that was my advice. That avenue to be able to share my intimate thoughts, right? To share the things that I think of and the things that I stand for and the things that I represent in essence, which could totally sometimes be different from who you are as an actor. So that's definitely one of the cons of being an actor is that people can spend years not knowing anything about you, really.
Yes, yes. So thank you for sharing that and giving us an inside look at the acting industry and the film industry. So you are the creator of the CEO and creator of the Naked Philosophy and creative director of the Bragg Media Company. Please tell us more about your amazing media company, media content development, publishing, and creative agency.
Well, basically, I think I said that the Bragg Media Company is a brand consulting, media content developing, and publishing agency. It's a great, we provide creative services and digital solutions to clients from around the world. So basically, like I said, what we help people do is, work with them to build a brand, to build a brand worth bragging about, to build a brand, or products, or services worth bragging about. And we work with lots of creatives. We work with visionaries and thought leaders and experts to pretty much create something that is bankable, a bankable identity, right? Or something that they're proud to brag about. And so it's been an amazing experience really getting to work with people and help them build something totally sustainable, right, across board, from them working with them for their, with their messages, working with them with their services and their products, and just helping them to basically become the highest expression of who they are, become the highest expression of their greatness. So that's what we, work with clients. And talking about the Naked Philosophy for me, the Naked Philosophy really is, oh gosh, that really came about me a time in my life when I was going through a personal challenge, right? I had just gotten separated. So, no, it's weird, but what happened was I just had I'd gotten married to another actor from another West African country. And, we had a child, and that marriage did not work. And I just had a baby. So, I was just trying to get into, just trying to adjust to motherhood. And of course, as an actor, when you just have a baby, there are lots of struggles, if I must say, emotional. And of course, my body had changed a little bit. So I wasn't feeling like the it girl, right, that I used to be. And I put on a little bit of weight, just a little bit. But again, I just had a new baby, so I wasn't back to working immediately. And going through separation, of course, I was going through some emotional challenges, and I couldn't really share that with anybody. I was worried about it being front page news. I was worried about people talking about me, talking about what was going on, not just so much about me, but the fact that, I was trying to protect my family in a sense, and so I was worried about, people hearing about it in the news. So when I went out to events and I'm on the red carpet and people go, "Hey, Alex, how's it going? How's your marriage? How's your husband?" I'm like, "Oh, we're fine. We're great. We're good." And I was kind of like lying. Right? So I'm like, "Oh, we're great. We're good." When in truth, I was going through so much. And because of the African culture, we don't, at the time, it wasn't tradition to talk to a shrink or a psychologist or someone to help you through your challenges, really. You just deal with it, right? You just deal with it. And so that was tough for me. And then being in the public light, having my life constantly out there. If I did something or somebody something somewhere was news, it was just too much. I couldn't deal with it. So I stopped going out to events. And then one day I'd had enough. I was tired of lying, like really, really tired. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be naked. I'm going to let people see. Oh, I'm going to strip naked. Like, I'm going to be naked. I'm not going to be the first person who's going to be dealing with a marriage that's not working. I'm not going to be the first. Yeah, fine. I'm a statistic now, right? I'm a single mom. And just all the things that we're afraid of society judging us, right? I had that fear. I was worried about, my parents, because my dad was famous and is in the industry. I was worried about so many things. And I just came to terms with the fact that I needed to be honest with myself first and with everyone else. And I just wanted to be naked. So that started the entire naked philosophy, pretty much. I started a blog called Alexandra and Her Naked Thoughts. And it was just me sharing my naked thoughts. And what came out of that was community, right? What came out of that was healing, pretty much, because I started sharing. And then I found out I wasn't alone, right? There were other people going through the same things that I'd been through, thinking the exact same thoughts that I was having, but could not share. And, people reach out to me and go, "Oh my God, Alex, you're so real. You're so this, you're so that." So I kind of felt human for the first time. It was like, okay, I wasn't this celebrity anymore. I was just a human being, right? Imperfect. Right. Dealing with my own issues like everybody else, and just realizing that, I'm human after all. And so began my healing, and began, the mission to share the same naked philosophy with the rest of the world, and just allowing people to embrace their vulnerability, embrace their transparency and their authenticity, and just understanding that a lot of us are living with masks. We're covering up so much. We're hiding so much. We're afraid, really, truly afraid of, we're afraid of being misjudged. We're afraid of societal, expectations. We're afraid of being misunderstood. We're afraid of failure and success. We're afraid of so many things. And so the idea of taking it all off, taking the mask off, basically removing uncovering the boundaries, the barriers, the things that stand in the way of our success, or just the things that sort of show up as limiting beliefs. That started the entire naked philosophy for me, and I've been sharing that message with the world. So, yeah.
I love it. I know our listeners are learning a lot of gems tonight and nuggets. I hope you all are taking notes. So let's talk about, and I know you spoke about it, more than once tonight, but let's talk about your amazing magazine, Brag, and the people that you feature and how people can get involved and support and purchase and donate.
Well, Brag, here's the thing, the Brag Media Company publishes Brag magazine, right? And Brag really stands for boldly, radically achieving goals. Again, I know it sounds like we're saying brag, but really the idea of Brag basically is to celebrate, right? Honor, celebrate, spotlight amazing people who are doing amazing things and sharing amazing thoughts and opinions, and just influencers, right? People who are causing people to take action. However, right, causing people to take action around the world. And so that's what Brag really is, celebrating, spotlighting these amazing individuals. And of course, if you go to www.thebragmagazine.com, they can find out more about the magazine. So again, Bragg is one of the babies of the Bragg Media Company because the Bragg Media Company has several co-brands, what we like to call co-brands. And I know I just talked about the company being a creative agency, but the the Bragg Media Company does have a magazine called Bragg. It also has, several other little babies. We have a club called the Bragg Club. And then, of course, we have the Bragg Shop, which is supposed to launch pretty soon in a couple of days, really. The Bragg Shop, which is a fashion brand, and then of course we also have the Bragg Radio Network that's launching on my birthday, March 10th. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So Bragg Magazine celebrating amazing influencers, people doing great things around the world, providing great thoughts, offering great services, putting out great products, just cause people to take action, positive action. That's what Bragg Magazine is about. So yay.
Well, congratulations on a new fashion line. I mean, you're doing, amazing, right? Amazing. I love it.
Yeah, it's great to see how, again, back to, just exploring all the different creative sides of you, right? And see how to create footprints for your brand, right? Around. So we're looking at, it's fashion, but it's also for us, it's not just fashion in terms of just clothes, but it's fashion in terms, for us, it's also creative visual communication. So the idea of Bragg by the Bragg Shop is, just wearing something that speaks for you, that tells us who you are as a go-getter or as an influencer, about somebody who's worth bragging about. So pretty much that's what it is. So yay, I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. So congratulations on all the great things that you're about to birth in this new year, Alex. I'm so excited for you. So let's talk about your new book, The Bragg Factor.
Oh my goodness.
Tell us about the book, when it's going to launch, how can we buy it, all that.
Well, the Bragg Factor is in launch. The Bragg Factor is going to be launched in June. But the Bragg Factor is really based on, I have this very, should I call it popular audio training called the Bragg Factor for creative success. And the Bragg Factor pretty much are principles on how to create success. And so it covers B for branding, R for reinvention, A for align, and G to grow. Because those are four very important things you want to put in your business. You want to make sure that you're branding. And we'll break it down for you, BRANDING, just all the different elements, things that you need to do to basically build a brand, from building your identity to representing the identity to authenticating that identity, notarize it, just all the elements, and we break it down pretty much. I break it down, pretty much. And then R for reinvention. Reinvention is so important because, I talk a lot about reinvention, and people think that reinvention is something you do only when your business is still, right? Or only when you're bored or tired or, but I think that reinvention should be part of the recreation process of your business, right? Constantly innovating, recreating, so that, you're bringing something new, elevating, up-leveling, whatever words you want to use to describe that, but making sure that you're constantly innovating your products or services or your identity, whatever that is, depending on what part of, what side of the industry you're in. So reinvention is very important. And of course, aligning, ALIGN, we break it down on how to align. And aligning is, how do you align with the right people who would take you from where you are to where you want to go? In other words, collaboration, right? Well, we'll break down the ALIGN, which is A for asking, leveraging, how you leverage relationships, the connections you make, how to invest in that, how to give, network, just all the important elements of that. And then, of course, growth. Every business owner wants to grow. So we break down the GROW and how do you grow in your business. So my book, The Bragg Factor for Creative Success, is based on the actual audio training that I did in 2017. Now I'm expanding it further and breaking it so much more so that business owners and people who just want to create something sustainable, because again, you can create something, but then you can create something sustainable if you're thinking about really creating a legacy, right? You're creating a legacy, something that outlives you, that your children's children can. And again, as an artist, it's important, right? Because as an artist, I understand the value of intellectual property and legacy and something outliving you. A lot of us are still reading books, Shakespeare and products of people who are gone, right? Books of people who are gone. Listen to music. We're still listening to Elvis Presley and Bob Marley and a couple of artists that are gone, and Prince and Michael Jackson, because your work of art, whether you're in business or whatever the case may be, and everyone is a creative, should outlive you. Your service, your product, right? Steve Jobs is not here, but we're still buying Apple, right? So point I'm just making is that you want to make sure that whatever you created leaves a legacy and totally outlives it and has several footprints. So the Brass Factor is going to be coming out in June, and I'm excited about that. But I have a little, ebook that people can get on the website. They go to my website. It's called Reveal. So, yeah.
I love it. Super congratulations. Make sure you purchase her book when it comes out in June. Alex is definitely an expert in what she does, and you definitely want to connect and get to know her. So let's talk about, I always ask my guests this question, and Alex, you have built multiple tables. You pretty much bought the tables. So how did you create your seat at the table?
How did I create my seat at the table? I just created the table, let's be honest. Like, I just created the table. I found myself sitting on the table. Here's the thing. I just wanted to be in a place where I could truly, truly not only impact lives, but also create platforms where other people through me could impact lives. And I knew that I had to be the one, right? So here's the thing. You either are the solution or you're the problem. And for me, I decided I wanted to be the solution. I wanted to be part of the solution, not the problem. So for me, I just knew that it started with me just showing up. And showing up just meant exploring my talents, using my gift, not waiting for somebody to offer me an opportunity, but me going out there and just using what I have and creating, I started with one step, right? Just, okay, I'm going to start with writing my blog. And the blog gave birth to a book, and the blog gave birth to a radio show, and the radio show gave birth to a book, and the book gave birth to a summit, and summit gave birth to, right? And before you knew, I had all these different companies. So that was it. It just started with me showing up and me realizing that I had several gifts in me, and I didn't want to die empty, and I wanted to make sure that I impacted people, but not just doing it alone, that I could also hold other people's hands and create, so here's the thing, Ashley. I have this thing about wanting to, and I know a lot of people have this, they want to impact like 1 million people. But for me, it takes one, just one. Like I don't have to directly impact 1 million people. While that's great, I only need to impact one person. And that one person can impact 10 people. And those 10 people can go out in the world and impact another 10 people or 100 people. And, the 100 people can go and impact another 100 people. And before you know it, there are 1 million people out there in the world who benefited because I just took one step and impacted one person. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it makes a whole lot of sense. Just keep creating, right? And make sure you're impacting and make sure you're leaving a legacy. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So what did failure teach you on your journey?
What is what?
What did failure teach you on your journey?
Oh, failure.
Yes.
There's no such thing as failure,
no such thing.
To be honest. No such thing as failure. I just think it's just lessons. Because life is a circle, right? Failure is not permanent and success is not permanent. That's the truth. It's a circle. It just keeps going. So you just learn lessons. You take the lessons and you apply it. That's how I see it. There's no failure, right? It's a circle. Mm-hmm. So no permanent failure, no permanent success. We're just moving to constant circle. And it's a circle of life. And so what you do is if you make a mistake or, you get a stop, like if you make a mistake, right, or you fall down, you take the lessons and you keep moving. So that's it. That's what I learned pretty much, that there is no such word as failure, not in my dictionary. I just think it's, lessons, life lessons. I learned something new and I try as much as possible to take what I've learned and apply it for the next time. So pretty much.
I love that. I love that because it is a lesson, right? It's a lesson to help us get to the next level. And a lot of people, when it gets uncomfortable, people want to stop, but no, that's when you're on the verge of your breakthrough. So you have to go through the process, right? You can't
You
get
have
the
to.
accomplishments and the accolades and all of that without doing the work and going through the process. You have to embrace the process. So thank you for
Oh,
shining the light on that.
Oh yes, there are challenges, no doubt. Challenges, a lot of hurdles, but if you look at it as a process, then you understand. For me, I get excited when I really like. I mean, I'm human. I get tired. I get overwhelmed. But more often than not, I'm actually inspired by the challenges because I'm like, hey, I'm like, wait, I want something. I want to see what the solution is. I'm curious. I'm curious to find out more or learn more about myself. And I think when we go through those challenging moments, we actually discover so much more about ourselves, right? We discover so much more about what we can handle, how we operate, how do we maximize our strengths and how do we minimize our weaknesses? So for me, it's interesting because I try to watch myself and understand myself when I'm dealing with something. So I don't see failure. I just see a lesson like, okay, don't do this ever. There's something I call negative inspiration. And negative inspiration is pretty much something you should not do. You should never do. It's just something that you should not do, or something that you should never do. So pretty much I see something as negative inspiration. I'm like, okay, this is an example of something that I should never do ever again, right? As opposed to seeing it as a failure or seeing it as a mistake. I just see it as negative inspiration. So I'm inspired not to try it again.
Absolutely. I love that. So what did success teach you? Because you're very successful.
Whew. I guess for me, I decide, you have to define what success is for you. I think that's if I will put it that way. Success has taught me that, first of all, if you're consistent, you will get it. If you are consistent, you will keep it. So I learned that consistency is very important. Just keep going at something. It's like you're trying to chop a rock. Just keep putting the blade in the same place. Keep putting the blade in the same place. Keep putting the blade, and one day it's going to give. It might take a while, but it will give. It will totally give. Just put the chainsaw and just keep going right there in the same spot. It would give. So I found out that for success, first of all, define what success means to you, or what success for you looks like. Success on your own terms, not necessarily success based on societal expectations, right? So you want to choose for yourself. What does it mean? What does success mean for me? I need to clearly define what success looks like for me, and I have to celebrate and that's where brag, comes in. That I have to celebrate my small wins and my big wins. But my small wins are so important because they keep me going, they keep me moving, they keep me excited, they keep me motivated for the next step. So I define what success is for me. I know that if I'm consistent, I'm going to get it. But if I get it, the only way I'm going to keep it, if I'm consistent, I will get it. But if I'm going to keep it, I have to be consistent with that same level of excellence so that I don't lose what I already have. So what happens, a lot of people achieve something and they get complacent. Like, oh, I have it, bye, right? And then they lose it. So if you have it, you put the same level of excellence that you put in getting it to make sure that you still keep it. So that's what success has taught me, pretty much, yeah.
I love that. And thank you for explaining that, because success means different things to different people, So I love that. I love how you broke it down, right? And you're very successful, by the way. So I hope our audience is taking good notes. So what can we expect from you in this new year, 2020, a new decade?
Oh my goodness, so many things I'm filled with. Well, obviously we're starting a 24/7 radio network, so that's in the works. There's the Brag Shop, that's in the works. Just more collaboration with people around the world. Just helping lots of experts and visionaries and creatives to become their greatness, to stand their greatness. So there's going to be a lot of me serving, and that's the core of who I am, serving. I'm very used to being in front of the scene, but I'm also very, very used to being in the back of the scene. So I'm kind of like the brainchild for a lot of, brands and influencers and experts, just working with them on the back end to help them create. So there's going to be a lot of that going on, but a lot of collaboration, a lot of creation, collaboration and creation for sure. So, yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Congratulations in advance for all the great things you're getting ready to do with your fashion line, with your book, with your media company, your creative agency, with written acting, all of the great things. So I just want to say super congratulations in advance, Alan. As I said, I follow you consistently, and I am just amazed at all the great things that you're doing. And you always reach back and help others, and you are a servant leader. So congratulations on all the great things that you're doing, and the things that you haven't announced. Congratulations in advance.
Thank you, Ashley. And it almost feels like you know me because, I'm not the